Prophet of thought.
We gotta stop this shit.
This is X from the Prophet of Thought series, also known as the Frontistery. I want to have a conversation with the men. And when I say men, I don't mean the femme men that we often talk about. Not the femme men. I mean the real men. Because I'm a person that, and I have said this before, I'm a person that believes that a big part of our problem in the black world, where we have these cities that are just I don't know, they are just chaotic, and there's pandemonium in these cities. A big reason for that is that there is almost no leadership far as men are concerned. There are no men in these communities to lead these communities. There are no men. There are not a lot of men. I don't want to say there's no men, but there are not a lot of men, real men in these neighborhoods taking leadership, strong roles in these communities. Because if they were, these communities would be a lot different. When a man takes control of something, he takes control of it full-fledgedly. And our neighborhoods and our communities, they are similar to our families, believe it or not. The neighborhood is similar. Because let's take, for instance, let's say there is a household and there is a man and a woman there, and say 2, 3, 4 children, whatever the number is. If that man leads that household, okay, he is not only a protector and provider of that household, he is also an instructor, and he is also someone who can lead. He can lead the family, and he can lead it without violence. And I bring up violence because there's a lot of violence in our neighborhoods in the black world. There's a lot of violence, so violence is important. We have to talk about it. But a man can lead without violence, because anyone who has kids knows. I mean, there's an exception to every rule, but any man who has kids know that we don't spend a lot of time beating our children. We just don't, as men. I mean, if we go upside one of our kids' heads, it's usually because they've done something really, really, really like over the top. We are different from women, and I know that everybody out there, either their mama was like that or someone else's mama was like that. I don't care. Your mother will beat you for anything. She will beat you for any little thing that you do. Okay? She will beat you until you are bleeding sometimes over the littlest of things. Leaving a piece of paper on the floor, leaving a drop of water on the table will get you busted up and roughed up and cussed out. We all know somebody that's like that, because a lot of us had mamas that was like that. But when you have a man in that household, he does not beat you, okay? He does not physically assault you for little tiny infinitesimal things. He is more diplomatic, because men, we believe that it is more important to teach a child a lesson as opposed to trying to beat the repercussions of a lesson not learned into the child's head. We don't believe that works. But most women, they believe that works. That's why they beat the hell out of these kids, okay? And that's why these kids grow up violent, because they've been violently freaking trained okay, and indoctrinated on violence all their lives from a very small age. So it shouldn't be no shock to anyone that a lot of these kids that grow up away from men are very, very violent. Men, we don't teach kids to be violent. We don't. When your father is around, I know I had a father. I was a fortunate brother. I grew up with my father. Okay, my father didn't die till I was in my 30s. So when you grow up with your father often protects you from some of your mother's brutality. He actually can step in and protect you from your mother's brutality. Now, all of this ties into a community, because a community is the same way. Okay? The males, the real men in a community, they are like the husband in a household, because they are the ones who can protect the community, just like they protect their own children in their own house. They can protect that community the same way. Because see, the mother of the community are the people in the community. They are the mother of the community. The community is the kid. Okay, the community is the child. And real men can protect that community from the nonsense. Okay, they can protect it from the crime. They can protect it from the killing. Okay, they can protect it from the chaos. Because men, if you go to neighborhoods where men are leading up households, you ever notice that those communities are quieter? There's more peace there. There's not a lot of crime there. Especially in a neighborhood where you got real men, hardworking men, care about, their community, care about what it looks like, care about what the front of their house looks like. You got men like that around there. Guess what? That criminal element finds somewhere else to be. That crazy element finds somewhere else to be. Because even that crazy element realizes that real men are not going to tolerate it. Real men will not tolerate it. Therefore, that miscreant element that exists always finds itself somewhere else besides where real men are, because real men will protect. Real men will stand up. Real men will not stand idly by as people destroy the community they live in, destroy the block that they live on, destroy the neighborhood. Real men will not stand for it. So I say again, men being in these neighborhoods, in these households, okay? Because just imagine if you had a neighborhood full of households with men leading up each household. It would probably be the amount of crime and killing and drugs and all that nonsense would be infinitesimal. Because the kids that would be coming out of those households, a lot of them, maybe not all of them, because like I said before, there's exceptions to every rule, but a lot of those kids would be coming out of those houses disciplined. They have a sense of integrity. They would have a sense of self. Okay? Because they would be taught that. They would have those disciplines instilled in them by men. And to be honest with you, as far as men are concerned, because men love their kids and they want their kids to do better. They don't want their kids to fail. Men, they love being around their kids. They love, a lot of times, and I'm gonna tell you a secret of men, okay? And hopefully I don't have all the men out there mad at me. But quite frankly, ladies, when we are in our children's lives, let me tell you something. 9 times out of 10, we enjoy spending time with our kids more than we do spending our time with you ladies. And that is a fact. We enjoy, most of us, and brothers can cop to it or not, most of us, we enjoy spending time with our children more than we enjoy spending time with our women. You know why? Because our kids, they don't judge us. They don't have a lot of expectations of us. They base everything they think and feel about us on how we treat them. Okay? There's no pre-existing conditions laid on how they love you. They don't judge you. They don't anything. They just want you. They don't want anything else but you. And it is most of the time, it is much more of a pleasurable experience for us as fathers to be around our kids than to be around their mothers. And that is a fact. Because as black men, one thing we are really focused on is our legacy. We are focused on what we leave behind. So as we raise our children, we keep that focus until they are adults. That's what men do. And I wanted men to be recognized for that. How major a part of the black world true, strong, real men are. How important they are. Because when they're not around, everything falls apart. And the more of them that aren't around, the more things fall apart. All you have to do is turn on the news. All you have to do is look on the internet. All you have to do is listen to the radio. And you'll know that in those communities, there are no real men around. And if it happens to be, it's not enough. It's not enough to raise that house called the neighborhood. And that's one of the main things that need to change in the black world. And we all know it. Prophet of Thought series. Open your minds.
And wonder why these niggas are so crazy?